it's time for another to buy or not to buy video. You guys know how this goes. Mini reviews, honest reviews, great reviews. Number one is this guy. So this is one of those hanger storage thingamajigs I ordered from Amazon. The reason why I like this, I'll tell you, is it is not plastic like the usual one. So it has like a mesh. So they won't get like fungus and all. Hopefully that's what I'm hoping for, because everything in our house seems to get fungus because it's like a ground floor, you know, no light, all of that. And the pocket sizes are really big. So you can see there's one big pocket here and one smaller pocket. This is actually not for jewelry, but I got it for my jewelry. So it's mainly for socks and underwear and stuff. But the jewelry ones I found, the pockets were really small. And I wanted this for like my fancy special jewelry. You know what I mean? So I have like necklaces here, earrings here. So like big earrings fit into this easily. In the jewelry ones, they would not fit in, because I feel like I stored in a lot of boxes, but then I somehow never find it, right? Or never use it, or you don't remember what's there. So I wanted something that's hanging in my closet so that it's easy access and I can just pull out, you know, whatever, like earrings, necklace, things like that. But not stuff that I want to leave out where it'll, you know, get tarnished or whatever. So yeah, I really thought the sizing on the pockets is good. This is also great to store like your underwear, like bras, socks, those kind of things. That's what it's actually for, but I'm using it for my jewelry. 400 and something on Amazon. I think it was worth it. Also lots of pockets, right? Both sides. I've not even used the back side yet. I'm still only on the front side. So when I take it back home and I add more jewelry, I think it'll be fine. But really sturdy, really looks good, looks like classy. Definitely to buy. Then we have these guys. These are not your regular markers, guys. These are like chalk pens, okay? Chalk pens. So that is what you see. It's actually a chalk which is shoved into a pen. Also, the formulation of the chalk is a bit different. The reason I bought this is, as you can see, there's a chalkboard in my room. I also have a chalkboard in the living room. And I remember when I got my that tiny little chalkboard, writing on it with like normal chalk is really not easy if you have shitty handwriting, or in general, writing with normal chalk is not easy, right? Like, or drawing, it's not as like sleek and easy and to hold like a pen. So there are these things available, which I discovered in the lockdown. I have been using them for a few months. There are some pros and some cons, let me tell you. So you get a set of 3 for 205 rupees, which is really cheap, really economical. You get a pink, a white and a yellow in the set that I ordered, which I will link below with everything else in this video. The best part about it is how easy it is to use. Like, you can actually write like a pen, right? So you can write with chalk, which is amazing. So if you see in restaurants or stores that have chalkboards with like art, they usually use these to do that, because you can't get that finish with like chalk unless you like sharpen the chalk and stuff, which I think is a bit much. So look and feel wise, it's amazing, but there's a drawback. It does not come off as easily as regular chalk. So regular chalk is just like one wipe with a wet tissue cloth, you know, boom, it's gone. This guy, I had to ragdow. I even sprayed some spray sanitizer thinking the alcohol will like reduce the color, but you can still see traces of what I have drawn. Despite me ragdowing for a good 10 minutes with sanitizer, with water, with the kapda, all of that. So it's not easy to take off basically. So I'm a bit on the fence about these. If you're someone that has like a board and you don't change it for months, like I had that flower on my board for like I don't know how long now and I won't change it, or the one on my desk that says be productive, don't be busy or whatever, I haven't changed since I put it there, then to buy. If you're someone that likes to change your board every day, it's too much thrust, too much work, not to buy. Next up, we have a service. So I'm sure you guys have all heard of Metropolis Labs. They're one of the biggest, I think, testing companies in India as of now, advertised everywhere. And I think over the last year, through the pandemic, most of you must have used their services. I was really tempted to do this many months ago in my last to buy or not to buy, but I thought I'd give them another chance, because every time something seems to go wrong with my testing or my family's testing, and I had to put this review in, because I feel like at the time we're in the middle of a pandemic, everybody is using home services and testing. And I've just had bad experience after bad experience with them, unfortunately. And I thought I should share that with anyone, because now is not the time where you want to really waste time when you need to get a test, right? So a little backstory. First up, towards the beginning of the lockdown, a close friend of mine had used them for testing, and they messed up her mother's reports. It gave her a negative, and she was living with her family for COVID, and then 2 days later called her and said, oh, sorry, it's a positive, we mixed up your results, which I thought was a big mix up, because so many people could like have got it by then, right? And they put so many more people in danger thinking she was negative. That was one. Number two was earlier into the lockdown. Now, I live with my parents right now for lockdown. They are old. They need constant blood work, urine work, all of that, in addition to like COVID tests and things like that. So usually we would obviously go to a lab and give their urine for testing and all of that. But in the lockdown, I've been trying to get the home testing done. And I think for my mum, she had a urine culture scheduled, which was bizarre because the test results never came. Okay. So the urine culture, sometimes it takes like, I think, a few days or a few weeks for the culture report to come. But in her case, it just never came. Like 3 weeks went by, 4 weeks went by. And I'm just like, okay, this is really weird. And we never got the results until I had to reach out to them and be like, oh, this is what's happening. They're like, yeah, it's delayed. Yeah, it's delayed. Yeah, it's delayed. And eventually it came really late, which was again strike two. Then strike three was recently. My mom was really ill last week, like 10 days ago. And she was incessantly coughing and, had like all the COVID symptoms, obviously, but thankfully it wasn't COVID. But her doctor obviously said she needs to do a COVID test and everything else. And I had scheduled the test for home testing the next day because she's a senior citizen and I didn't want to take her out and stuff like that. And it's crazy how my test was confirmed. The person was supposed to come at 8:30 in the morning. And until 2 p.m., I had called them at least like 5-6 times saying, nobody's come, what's going on? Nobody's come, what's going on? And they kept telling me, oh, call the technician, the number's been sent to you. The number of the technician was unavailable that was sent to me. And I kept calling the help center, which is obviously somewhere else, or they have no clue what's happening. And then finally, after I think 5-6 calls, the person that answered in the help center told me that the person who had taken the appointment made a mistake and they had put the date of March instead of February. And I was like, how could you guys not see this or know this? Like, this is bizarre, right? Like, I mean, that's a big mess up, especially when you're waiting on a COVID test, which you want to do like quickly to get the results to know if the person is infectious or not. And then they said the next day the person will come and whatever. And like my whole day was just spent calling their call center, which I felt was really ridiculous because the whole purpose of home testing, all of this is to like ease the pressure, right? Where you're just supposed to take an appointment online. The guy's supposed to show up, do your test, get your results. So yeah, 3 times this has happened with Metropolis. And I just feel like in the current scenario, this should not be happening repeatedly because it's a time where like healthcare is really, really important. So unfortunately, I'm going to say if you need to test, don't do it with them because of the experiences I've had. Not to buy. Then we have this guy, which looks really, really disgusting right now because it's covered in like hair and lint and but I'm going to put it down because I can't bear to see it. So what this is it is a lint hair remover, like a roller. It has a sticky pad on it. I actually bought it from my pet store because of Mars's hair. So if you have any kind of a pet in your house, you've got hair everywhere, right? Like, you know the drill. I have a lot of my own hair also which falls. So I'm basically going to do this on Mars's bed to show you how it removes a lot of the hair that's stuck to your furniture, to your clothes, basically to remove pet hair, fur, lint. So as you can see, it's pretty much removed a lot of the hair. I usually vacuum this. I mean, the roller is mainly for my clothes, which will have less hair than this. But I thought this is a spot in the house that has the most hair because it's Mars's bed. So I thought we should try it on that to show you guys how it works, basically. So yeah, you can see it gets all the hair really quickly. But the thing is, it has 60 sheets. And I think with one sheet is basically done now. It's not sticky anymore after using this. For the second demo, I'm using my own bed cushion with a lot of my hair because I shed as much as Mars. So you can see there's a lot of hair that's stuck onto it. You can also see that the cushion seems to get clean, right? Like a lot of lint. My bed cover is actually blue. So you can see a lot of that lint fabric is all coming off the cushion, and the cushion actually looks cleaner after that, right? So is it effective? Yes, it's definitely effective. The only drawback I feel is that the sticky roll gets over really quickly. Like you have 60 sheets in one roll. And this is for 200 and something with the holder. Then you can buy extra rolls later. But I do feel like one roll is done, right? When you use it once, one roll is done, and then you have to keep like turning it over, removing the paper, and then changing it over to get a fresh roll. So yeah, if you do this a lot, you're going to need a lot of it. That's the only drawback. But I feel like for clothes and things like that, it's really, really good because especially when you wear black and you have a pet, you know what I'm talking about, right? And that's why I bought this mainly for like my going out clothes, or like, you know, when something's really covered with hair. So I don't think I'm going to need that many sheets because I'm okay with like his hair on my bed or cushion or on his bed and all of that. I vacuum it most of the time. But yeah, I really, really think it's effective. Like it's quick, like it catches the hair really quickly, catches the lint really quickly. So I would definitely say to buy. Then we have another one of my Amazon purchases. So I bought this home like shelf, plastic shelf thingy for your closet. Because see, in my actual steel closet, I just felt like there's so much space because I don't really use the hanging and I use more shelves. So I thought, let me buy this and get more shelf space. A few things. Okay, first things, it comes with no like assembly instructions, so you're on your own pretty much. I spent a while trying to connect and like figure out what goes where and how. The best thing about it is you can assemble it how you wish. So I actually used some of the shelves as the back, you know, so that things don't fall out from the back because the original design doesn't have that. But you can do whatever floats your boat with this since there are no instructions. And I also attached one shelf on the side and tied it with like my own scarf to support it with the hanging because I felt like I had more space this way than this way. I mean, this would be good if you have like those cupboards which have no shelves, you know, like those, like just one shelf and you need more hanging and stuff like that. But it's not very sturdy. It doesn't hold a lot of weight. So you can see I'm barely using it right now for just like 3 sweatshirts, and you can already see there's a droop in the shelf, right? Like, so if you load it with clothes, it's probably going to collapse. So not very sturdy, doesn't come with any instructions, and it's not really cheap as well. It was about 600 bucks as far as I remember. So yeah, I wasn't really happy with it. I could have returned it, but I just felt like I spent so much time assembling it and then pushing it to the side and tying it with my scarf and all of that. I'll keep it, but I'm going to say not to buy. Last but not the least, we have this little guy. I've spoken about this a lot in my content. This is basically the Clinique Anti-Blemish acne clearing gel. The reason I wanted to do a bit of a detailed review here for you guys is because I get so many questions about this on Instagram or whenever people ask me for a spot treatment for acne and say, does it really work? Is it really good? Now, if you see my face right now, I do have some spots. Like I've got a really bad big Bob here. That's his name, Bob. I have little acne spots from my mask. I did a whole video about that. If you haven't watched that, you can watch that here. This is in that as well. The reason why I recommend this is for people that don't have like an acne like issue. Like I've had acne before. I was medically treated for acne. I used a lot of medical ointments, oral tablets, all of that, which you need to see a dermatologist for. So if you've got active major acne on your face, I would recommend seeing a dermatologist. If you get random one-off big pimples or bad pimples like this, or currently because of using a mask you're suffering from acne, I would recommend this. Now this is nearly 3,000 rupees. It is expensive, but it's really, really potent. It's a tiny bottle that lasts you for months. And no, this is not sponsored. No, this was not given to me for free. I actually went and bought it right now when I finished my last bottle because I felt like I was getting spots again. And I find it really, really effective. What I do is I just take it and I just apply a dot on that spot, you know, morning and evening, and it shrinks the pimple and eventually it kind of vanishes. For me, it's definitely the best spot treatment I'm using currently and have used before. And I would definitely recommend this. Again, don't think of it as 3,000 rupees for a small bottle because it's going to last you for ages. Like the last bottle, I think it lasted me for like a year because it was like, you just use a dot. It's way better than buying like 50 million creams that don't really work or don't do the job. But again, acne is tricky, unless you know the cause for your acne, this might not work for some of you. So that being said, I would say if you can see a dermatologist, that's always best. But if you just want something for spots, bye. So guys, those are all the reviews I'm going to be doing in today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Also comment below with other things that you want me to review in the next to buy or not to buy video. See ya.